If you're looking to move to Italy, or if you're just going to be spending a lot of time in this country, then you definitely don't want to miss this video, because today we're going to be talking about Italian etiquette. This video could potentially save you a lot of embarrassment. Do make sure that you watch the whole video, because at the very end I'm going to talk about something which is at the heart of many Italians. It's important to be delicate in this matter. You'll see. So let's get right into it. Iniziamo. Alright, so the first one is something that I have mentioned in previous videos, but it is always worth repeating because it's important. And this one is learn the language. However, in today's video, I am not going to be talking about simple social transactions or common phrases like chiedo scusa, non parlo benissimo italiano, but rather I would like to discuss reasons why you really should learn the language, especially if you're planning on building a life here. Now, Italians on the whole are usually pretty patient with people that can't speak their language, and they're usually patient in a multitude of different situations, from the simple to the more difficult. However, let's talk about the difficult. Some examples that come up would be buying a house, talking to your child's pediatrician, applying for a loan, buying a car, etc., etc. You get the point. Now, if you are at the beginning of your journey here in Italy, I think it's perfectly natural to find somebody to help you, because in the beginning, your language skills are probably not up to par, and that's fine. To help you out, you might consider a friend, boyfriend, girlfriend, spouse, whatever, and in the beginning, they can do the heavy lifting for you. My wife is Italian, and quite often she will speak for me, but not because of my lack of linguistic skills. It really depends on the situation, but there are times where we need a fast, quick transaction, and I might take a little bit longer. Before I met her, I had been in this country for nearly 10 years, and before that, I did have girlfriends, friends, and various people help me out, but most of the time, it was just me trying to get by in bureaucratic matters, daily life matters, so it was really a sink or swim situation, but it really is beneficial. But getting back to my main point, it's this. If you are constantly relying on somebody to do all the translating for you and the speaking for you, I think eventually that person might get annoyed. I would. The main takeaway is this. Don't worry about grammatical mistakes, pronunciation, and things of the like. The most important thing is to attempt to learn the language, and don't worry about making mistakes. That's how we learn. It's been a while. Next, let's talk about fashion. This is Italy. This is the land of fashion. People like to dress well. Some of the best brands in the world come from this country. Does that mean that you need to always dress down to the nines? No, absolutely not. However, you do need to be careful about what you wear in certain social situations. But David, I'm a simple minimalist. I like jeans, t-shirt. What do I care about dressing up? What do I care about fashion? I kind of agree, really. I like simplicity, and I like simplicity in multiple forms. But here's why you should care. I'll give you 3 scenarios where it might matter. This could be a wedding, baptism, or graduation. In these circumstances, it's important to look well, not for a fashion statement, but simply not to stick out. That's it. If that doesn't embarrass you, consider this at least. When you go to this place, you might be among friends or coworkers or whatever. If you're trying to network, if you're trying to build up a network of friends, professional contacts, whatever it is, this could make a bad impression. And impressions in this country are key. Please keep that in mind. Impressions in this country are key. Now keep in mind, this is just my recommendation, and it doesn't mean that you should follow this advice to a T. But think of it this way. I've been here for 13 years now. You should take this as a general guideline. To keep it simple, do this. Just simply ask around. Ask your friends. Ask whoever you happen to know who's Italian or who has experience in this country and say, what do you think I should wear? And that's it. The next one is actually a close cousin to dressing up, and this is gift giving. For all the reasons that I just mentioned in regards to dressing up properly, the same rules apply to gifts. Now, don't panic. You do not need to spend an extravagant amount on a gift, but you do need to consider 2 factors. 1, is it well thought out? And 2, and probably the most important, is it something that is quality? Can you give cash as a gift? Yes, that's entirely possible. As a matter of fact, I frequently got cash when I was a child from my family, so sure. Speaking of money situations, let's move on to a restaurant scenario. You're out with friends, who pays? Now, if you're out with a large group of friends, you're probably not going to find somebody who's willing to pay for everybody else unless it's a special occasion, unless we're dealing with a wedding, graduation, whatever. In that situation, then you pay alla romana, or pay Dutch as we say in English. However, I can guarantee you that you are going to at least once in your life encounter that one Italian who insists on paying for everything even when you want to pay. No, non esiste, ci penso io. I'm not kidding. I have seen scenes here where there's a group of people or even 2 friends and it looks like there's about to be some aggression, really, because they just can't seem to decide who's paying. And so it's almost comical, to be honest. Now, if you want to avoid that situation, here's what you should do. And this is something I learned the hard way. So before you even arrive to the restaurant or wherever you're going, take some cash, take your card, take whatever, put it in your pocket. Then, towards the end of the meal, excuse yourself, go to the bathroom, and then silently and covertly go to the cashier, pay for everything. This way, nobody can insist. You've paid for it. End of discussion. The reason why you want to take your cash and put it in your pocket is because when you're sitting down with your friends, they can see you reaching for your coat pocket, your bag, whatever, and they know that you are attempting to pay. It is at that precise moment when the circus begins, and this is when your Italian friends will start insisting that they want to pay. Not always, though, but I've seen this plenty of times, like I said. But yeah, if you don't do it like I suggested, put the money in your pocket, then at that point, it becomes almost impossible to pay if you want to. Now, will this happen every single time you go out with your Italian friends? No, of course not. But here's my main point. Your goal is to be the kind of person that is willing to pay, that insists. And the reason why is because you want to put this idea into the minds of your Italian friends. You want to make it known that you're the kind of person who is willing to do these things. And this goes a long way to strengthen friendships. This flows into our next point, and this is the idea of doing favors for your friends. I'll give you an example. Suppose you have to move, and your Italian friend helps you out. After you're done, she or he will probably say, "Non ti preoccupare, dai, don't worry about it, it's okay." My advice, worry about it. I say this because I think it's important to not be naive in this situation. You know, on the surface, it seems like they did this just out of the kindness of their hearts, and they probably did, really, you know. But for them, saying don't worry about it, really, I think is just a formality. Deep down, they expect you to return the favor. You know, otherwise it's a one-way street and you look selfish. Keep in mind that this is a country with a very close social network, and so a lot of people rely on their friends to help them out. To put it another way, it's the age-old expression of, I scratch my back, you scratch your back. Hang on a sec, that's not right, wait a minute. Let's try this again. It's, I scratch your back, you scratch my back. There we go, eccolo. I feel that this concept is particularly stronger in the south of Italy. I know because I've lived there and my wife's family is from Sicily, so I've seen this firsthand. Now, I can't speak for the rest of the country, although I suspect it is very similar. However, let's find out. Leave me a comment below. If you are from other parts of Italy, or if you have experience in other parts of the country, does this system of returning the favor exist where you are, or is it as strong as it is in the South? Let me know. I'd be curious to find out. If you're enjoying today's video and you want to see more videos like this in the future, subscribe, hit the bell, and this way you'll be notified when I make all future videos. Thank you. Andiamo avanti. Let's keep going. Like I said in the intro, these last two are arguably the two most delicate. Italy has many problems. I've mentioned quite a few on this channel, and so for as much as I like living here, I'm not naive to what's going on here and the problems that Italy has. Am I allowed to criticize this country? That's somewhat of a gray area. Now, don't worry, this discussion has nothing to do with elephants. It was just the nearest gray thing that I could find. Yeah, but it is a gray area. Let's take myself as an example. I've been here for over 10 years. I work, I vote, I pay taxes, I've started a family here. But I wasn't born and raised here, so does that mean that I don't have the right to criticize this country? I have mixed opinions about that. I see their point, you know. It's not exactly nice to hear somebody criticize your country when they're not from there. However, I think it depends on the circumstance. Let's change perspectives on this. So suppose that we are in the United States and there are two people. The guy on the right is not from the United States, but he's been there for many years. He works, he pays taxes, he has a family, pretty much everything that I've done here in Italy, but in the United States. The other guy maybe was born and raised there, but does nothing really. Nothing at all. It makes no contributions to society. Now, it does depend on what they're saying and also maybe the intelligence of the two people in question. However, I would probably be more prone to listen to the person who's actually doing something in society, who's actually making a positive contribution. And that's it. Personally, I don't mind if the immigrant criticizes my country because he's earned the right to do that, I think. I would say that the winning formula is this. If you want to criticize Italy, that's okay, but it's better if you are an established member of society, that you know the culture, that you know the country very well, and, you know, don't criticize unless you have a solution. That makes a difference, I think. At the end of the day, though, I think it is purely subjective. Who's criticizing? What are they criticizing? Most importantly, though, is the person listening, is the person who is receiving the criticism, are they doing it objectively and in a holistic way? I don't think this next one is as serious as the previous one that I mentioned about criticizing Italy. However, you do need to tread a bit lightly, and that is don't criticize their national sport, calcio, soccer, football, whatever you want to call it. Now, I don't care for soccer. I didn't grow up with it, and so I just have no emotional attachment to it. But when I am talking to other Italian friends, and when I'm with somebody who really has a passion for the sport, I'm very careful about what I say. I simply tell them that I don't follow soccer, my passion is ice hockey, and usually it ends there. This leads us into our Frase Italiana della Settimana. So if you want to indicate that you don't care for soccer, then you want to say just that. But in Italian, it's better to say it this way. Mi dispiace ma non seguo il calcio. I'm sorry, but I don't follow soccer. It is possible that I may have offended a few soccer fans throughout the years because I kept saying I don't like soccer. Non mi piace il calcio. However, this is not as delicate as saying I don't follow it. If you haven't seen my last video, then do click on it above. And in that video, I talk about unique Italian things that I would miss if I had to leave this country. In that video, I present some particular Italian things which you may or may not be aware of. As always, grazie mille per l'attenzione, ci vediamo alla prossima. Thank you very much for watching, I appreciate your time. Our time is very valuable, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.